Hey guys, what's going on? Hope you guys are doing well. We're back for part 2 of what's meta right now. We're going to be covering all the different armors, the different viabilities, what they're going to be used for, things like that. So let's get straight into it, shall we? Starting with the cloth hoods. Now, we're seeing a couple different ones at the moment. First one's first, Cleric Cowl. Cleric Cowl been consistently good with that ice block. Obviously had a couple of nerfs to it over the time, but it's a good one. Pretty consistent for just any sort of DPS, I would say, more than anything else. Healer, you can't really afford to sit in an ice block typically, so for healers I would say go for something else. However, ice block, pretty decent overall for just DPSs. I would say it's equal to block. It lasts slightly longer than block, but block does give you the mobility. However, block is on a shorter cooldown as well, so I would always say go for block over Cleric Cowl, but if you're really about trying to get the most damage possible, go for Cleric Cowl. It gives you a little bit extra damage on the aggression, as well as, obviously, the ice block. Another option I'm just going to throw out there, Scholar Cowl and Royal Cowl. Both great for sort of mana regen, mana consumption, that sort of thing. Energy shield if you're getting tunneled. This will instantly give you full mana. It is quite good actually. It's very underrated. Royal Cowl, I would say use this with nature just because of the holy healing with generous heal at the moment. You can't really maximize it. However, if you use this with nature, you can just throw hots out on everybody. You're going to do it with no mana costs. And actually, I would say it's a very good helmet at the moment for healers. Maybe even fire as well, question mark. But yeah, I would say it's a decent helmet. Other than that, we have Druid Cowl just for sort of mana sustain. It has just been nerfed, but it's still probably the best helmet that we can have right now in terms of just mana sustainability. Most teams run at least one, even now with the nerfs to it. And actually, Fiend Cowl is being used as an offensive option for the ranged DPS, having that purge to get rid of all like defenses and stuff like that on a 40-second cooldown. I would actually say it's probably the most offensive helmet for maybe that Mage Cowl, but you're not really going to use Mage Cowl in like 5v5 stuff. But Fiend Cowl, very, very strong right now. If you're bursting someone, they use like Inferno Shield or something, or Retaliate, with how strong Retaliate is at the moment and reflect damage, Purge gets rid of them immediately and gives you a good opportunity to land a kill. So I'd say this is probably the most offensive helmet, cloth helmet you could have at the moment. Moving into robes, Druid Robe and Fiend Robe, the two strongest at the moment, just because you use that Frost Shield, get the extra obviously aggression for that extra damage, healing, whatever. Fiend Robe the same, gives you a little bit more tankiness, and again actually giving you 53% magic bonus with the aggression. Really strong option, and if you get this at the high tier, the item power scales better than the non-artifact ones, so definitely worth doing. Obviously it does cost a little bit more, but in terms of robes, Druid Robe, Fiend Robe, two best robes going at the moment. If you're not going to use an artifact one, I would say Cleric with Everlasting Spirit is probably your best option. In terms of boots, now Cleric boots, where are they? There they are, with Blink and the way obviously the casting is now, you can do it instantly. Actually gives you quite a reactionary blink, just get out of dodge. It's actually quicker than obviously the assassin boots and stuff like that. I would say this is very underrated and could be used. Other than that, we see Druid Sandals occasionally on tanks for that 30% move speed, as well as 80% slow on a 30-second cooldown. Very strong ability, but I've only ever really seen tanks using it. Going into leather, and this is where we're going to see loads of things in the meta. So first things first, we've got Hunter Hood. Hunter Hood, Retaliate's just been buffed, now reflects all damage, basically AoEs, dots, skill shots, all that sort of stuff. Now gets reflected. Retaliate can do so much damage. You pair this with Inferno Shield and you're going to do so much reflection damage. It is crazy. I wouldn't feel right without mentioning this at the moment. I'm using this personally. The resistances increase is nice as well. It really is overall just a good, strong defensive option. Mercenary Hood, probably the best in slot for healers. That cleanse is just invaluable on a healer. It stops you having to use cleanse on the W on a druidic staff, and obviously Holy doesn't have a cleanse. This gives you that, so I think this is basically the best in slot, if you're going to say it like that, for healers. Royal Hood, we've seen Royal Hood occasionally on like Clarent Blades and stuff like that. I think it's just a worse version of the Stalker Hood. Mortal Agony, super strong right now, especially with Clarent Blade, because it's or especially with swords, because it lines up perfectly with the cooldown. So very, very good offensive option for like bruisers, leather users. Carrying callers can use this as well. It really is just strong enough that you can use it on anyone really that's going to be in the mix. And Hellion Hood. Hellion Hood, probably one of the strongest defensive options, utility options for a tank right now. Heavy Mace jumps in, Snare Charge, Sticky Potion, Smoke Bomb. That combination is brutal. It really does do a lot of damage. Not a lot of damage, but a lot of like silence, disruption, utility. So very, very strong option there for tanks. Bruisers can use this as well. However, I think it is kind of lessened the effect. Moving into jackets. Again, we're kind of seeing the same thing as the cloth. Basically, if you want to do pure damage, you go for the Assassin Jacket with the Inferno Shield. Gives you a good chunk of damage, especially when you use Balanced Mind, as well as 34% damage, as well as some decent survivability. And Inferno Shield, obviously, reflects, being super strong. Gives you 73 resistances, as well as a 30% reflect. You put that with Retaliate. That's a really strong setup you've got there. If you're going to go for a bit more of a defensive option, Stalker Jacket with Inferno Shield, or even Hellion Jacket with Inferno Shield, are all good options. Other than that, I wouldn't say Hunt, Mercenary, or Royal is a particularly strong option at the moment. Shoes, we got Assassin Boots. Assassin Boots have just been nerfed, I would say. They're equal to Royal Boots at the moment. You can use one or the other. As a bruiser, as a frontliner, I'd rather use Assassin Boots, just because the Royal Boots feel too clunky, keep you in the air too long. However, if you're a backliner, I think Royal Boots are just better. 15-second cooldown, more distance, you can do more with them, I would say. Like I said, ranged healers use Royal Boots, frontliners, bruisers, tanks use Assassin Boots. Other than that, not really seen much use of any others except Hunter Shoes on tanks for like the Hammer Tackle, the Snare Charge, or the Purge on the Heavy Mace. So Hunter Shoes, Assassin Boots, and Royal Shoes for the leather boots. Moving into plate, we've seen Soldier Helmet be probably the most dominant sort of helmet really for most people. You get the 2 seconds immunity, you can keep moving, and it's only a 30-second cooldown, so very, very good. I still think this is better than Ice Block. Other than that, you've got Guardian Helmet. You could kind of make an argument for every now and again for like a tank, even maybe, if you're kind of getting used to tanking. Graveguard Helmet, I've actually seen some people been running this on like a healer, just to try and give some of that burst healing back. But Demon Helmet, the other option. If you're going to use Demon Helmet and Hellion Helmet, use the Hellion on a bruiser, Demon on a tank, because you get the increased CC duration. But yeah, that's probably the only options really for plate helmets. Plate armor, you've got the Guardian armor with the Enfeeble Aura. I actually think this is really, really strong. 30-second cooldown, lasts for 5 seconds, and 60% less damage. If you get this right, there's actually a huge amount right there. Also reveals Invis. Probably not the biggest thing you're going to use this for, but it's a nice little side utility thing. Night Armor, Wind Wall. I mean, what can we say? Wind Wall has been strong for so long. 50-second cooldown, 4-second Wind Wall. It's pretty strong. Most people know it, and it's the kind of default tank chest piece. Boots. Boots, you've got night boots for tanks maybe. No one's really using them too much. Healers can actually make an argument to use these at the moment just for like throughput. But yeah, not being used. Royal plate boots have been changed so that it's now incoming damage reduction rather than resistances. I actually think this is a little bit stronger. They have a little bit less move speed overall, but still very, very strong. Demon boots are actually very underrated if you get these on a tank or something like that, even a healer maybe. Armor and crowd control resistance for all allies in a 5 meter radius if you run around on top of someone. It's like a tank, ideal for this because you can run around on top of someone and use these. However, I think leather boots just beat out plate boots all the time for every role, unfortunately, at the moment. So guys, thank you for watching. This has been my sort of meta coverage of what's going on at the moment. Hope you guys have enjoyed. Thank you for watching and catch you later. Goodbye.